The invitation to the governor's charity ball sat on my counter until my mother called. Her voice had that precise edge. "Emma, about Saturday's gala," she said. "Your father and I think it's best if you don't come this year." I was in my home office with 20 grant proposals, each a plan for a child's future. Why? The guest list is refined. The governor, senators, serious patrons, the sort who give real money. We don't want you to feel out of place. On my desk, the checkbook for the Harper Education Trust lay open to a carbon copy from last month. $1 million to the State Literacy Initiative. With a pen stroke nobody in my family saw, I had become the governor's largest individual donor. "I see," I said. "You know how quiet you get at events. Sophia and her husband will be there. They know how to work a room. You're happier doing your little volunteer shifts." My little nonprofit had 12 staff, a $50 million endowment from Grandma Ruth, and 5 years of impact. I had never told them. It was easier to let their picture of me stay small. "Thanks for letting me know," I said, and she exhaled, relieved. Minutes later, Nathan tapped the door. "The governor's office called confirming your seat Saturday. He wants to thank you personally. I'll be there." Next morning, David Chen, the governor's chief of staff, phoned. "Miss Harper, the governor plans to recognize top donors. You're first on the list." "My parents are co-chairs," I said. "They don't know." A pause. "This may be awkward. I'll manage." Saturday evening, I stepped from the car in midnight blue and walked the red carpet alone. At the entrance, my parents flanked white roses radiant for everyone else. My mother's smile stalled when she saw me. "Emma," we decided. "Good evening," I said. "Mr. Chen is expecting me." David appeared. "Miss Harper, the governor asked me to escort you. Head table." He nodded at my parents, whose expressions flickered like bulbs about to fail. Inside, chandeliers glittered above place cards in looping script. Mine read, "Emma Harper, founder and director, Harper Education Trust." The governor arrived with an easy warmth. "Miss Harper, Emma, your grant changed our trajectory." "Happy to help," I said. Literacy is the spine of everything. Others gathered, a superintendent, a university president, 2 legislators who knew my work by nickname. Compliments landed with the weight of facts. Across the room, Sophia stared, translating a language she'd never learned. Dinner gave way to speeches. The governor took the podium. "This year's initiative raised $3 million for children's literacy," he said, applause swelling. One donor made a decisive difference. Emma Harper, whose trust has funded rural schools, teacher residencies, and scholarships for 5 years, contributed $1 million. Lights found me. I stood. The room rose. He invited me up and pressed a glass medal into my hands. "You have altered futures," he said. Cameras flashed. A string quartet resumed breathing. When I returned, my mother hovered in the aisle, pale. "A word?" she managed. David hesitated. I nodded in a corridor scented with starch and roses. Her composure split. "Why didn't you tell us?" she demanded. Where did the money come from? Grandma Ruth, I said. She trusted what I'd built. My father arrived stricken. "You've made us look foolish." "No," I said. "You made yourselves uninformed." We returned to the ballroom because work waited. David introduced superintendents and principals. For an hour, I spoke language that built my life, outcomes, longitudinal data, cost per intervention, rising fluency. Near 10, the coordinator bent to my parents' table. I caught his whisper and my mother's stillness. By 11, word spread that next year's co-chairs would be different. Loss moved across her face like a dimming marquee. Access, status, shine. Outside, my father caught my sleeve. Please tell people we knew. Say it was a surprise. You want a lie to mend a truth? I said that won't hold. The weekend churned with headlines, photos of the medal, summaries of 5 years of grants, editorials about parents who didn't ask questions. Monday, the governor's office called. Miss Harper, David said, warmer. The governor would like to appoint you to the state education board. Yes, I answered, not to spite anyone, but because the work deserved it. That night, my mother called, voice paper thin. We're being dropped from committees. Emma, we're sorry. We should have seen you. You should have looked, I said, not because of the money before it. Weeks passed. Sophia texted a heart emoji that looked like a bandage. I sent one back. Spring brought the Trust's gala in Austin, Texas. The room shimmered, not with pedigree, but with teachers and children reading on a stage we funded. The governor clinked his glass and spoke briefly. Impact did the talking. After my phone lit with a message from my mother, "You looked beautiful. I'm proud." I typed and deleted, then wrote the only sentence that fit. Thank you. I stepped into the night, not needing an invitation to belong.